How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Good morning to you guys. All right, hold on. Let me close my door real quick. All right, let's get this started. Hopefully you guys are doing good, man. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Okay, I was just checking something. But yeah, hopefully you guys are doing good, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the live trading. Okay, let me start up the live trading here. Yo, what's popping, guys? What's popping? What's popping? What's popping? All right, let's get this started. David, dude, yeah, CPI came out pretty bad today, bro. Definitely not like the previous other times. These last few months, it's been straight up or straight down. Today, it kind of came out a little bit more neutral. So it pumped up, pumped down, and then it did nothing. So yeah, today's CPI was not really the case. Like it didn't really do much, which happens. This is just known as a priced in CPI, where pretty much it's pretty much expected, right? So when CPI comes out, I don't know if you guys know this, there's actual numbers and expectation numbers, right? So if CPI comes out and it pretty much hits what everyone expected, then the market is already priced in, so it doesn't do anything. And that's pretty much what ended up happening today. So not very exciting from CPI today, but it was whatever. It was pretty mid. I mean, it did move a little bit, but hopefully this gives us some volume coming into market open though. Now, coming into market open today, guys, let me kind of explain this really, really quick. So obviously, coming to market open, you guys are seeing a bunch of buying pressure kicking in. Looks very nice, looks very stable, looks very nice. All right. Now, as you guys can see on the 5 and 15-minute time frame, we are approaching a 5 and 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Do I want to take this trade? As much as I would love to, I do not want to take this trade. Why exactly do I say I do not want to take this trade? Well, pretty simple, right? We all talked about it yesterday with the same exact setup, which actually ended up not even playing out. All right. So looking at this 15-minute chart, or it could also be the 5-minute chart, right? Inside of this bearish rally gap, you guys can see that we have a very, very strong level of liquidity right over here at 25,125. So if price ends up getting bought up like crazy, which is pretty much what's happening currently, right? A lot of nice buying pressure, very nice, very cool, right? A lot of nice buying pressure. Hold on, let me drink some water here. My throat is getting dried up here. But yeah, we have a lot of buying pressure. Looks very nice, looks very strong, looks very upside, right? But the problem is that if we approach this 15-minute fair value gap here and we take out this level of liquidity and we go slightly above it, and by slightly, I mean 3 points above it, we're going to inverse this bearish fair value gap, which can trigger a, obviously, inverse fair value gap trade into the upside. The thing is that if we have a level of liquidity here, we're not going to be able to give the market enough time nor enough room to decide if it wants to sweep this level of liquidity or not by the time that we get our entry, right? So if we take longs here and a few seconds later we end up rejecting and sweeping this drawn liquidity, we're stuck in longs while the bias turns bearish. So I don't really want to take longs from here. Now, is there an alternative play that we can actually end up trading? Well, actually, yeah. So coming to market open today, the first thing that we did was take out the CPI high, which is actually one of the strongest levels of liquidity nearby. You might be wondering, what the hell is a CPI high? I have never heard you say that. Well, when news comes out, high impact news like FOMC, NFP, CPI, PPI, and the market spikes up in volume at 8:30, right? We're going to create a high and we're going to create a low, right? Since it's known as a high, wait, before I say anything, hold on, let me start my live on YouTube. Forgot. What's up, YouTube? One sec, guys, my fault. One sec. One sec, guys. There we go. Okay. Yeah, what I was saying was when a high impact news comes out, guys, pretty much what ends up happening is obviously since it's high impact, it means that there's high interest. High interest means a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers. A lot of buyers and a lot of sellers means more liquidity in the markets. And the more liquidity there are in the markets, what does that mean? Well, the stronger the levels are to get a reaction, right? So coming to market open today, right? Obviously, you guys know today we had CPI at 830, which obviously spiked up, created this high, and then spiked back down, creating this slowdown here, right? So our CPI high would be up here at 25.58, and our CPI low would be here at 24.909, right? So coming to market open, we have a few things that we can actually go ahead and trade, right? So coming to market open, obviously we have a ton of buying pressure. In fact, we're still going higher, right? So one or two things can happen. We either go up and take out this level of liquidity, which can trigger a inverse of this fair value gap, which I'm not really too interested in, or if buyers get weak around this area, which as you guys can see, we have one rejection and we're trying to get another rejection, so maybe something can happen, right? What can happen is we reject back down into a fair value gap. A drawn liquidity sweep from the CPI high, which once again is a very strong level of liquidity because there was a lot of interest in this area here, right? Because obviously the news, right? So what we can do here is if we take out this CPI high and start holding below it, our bias turns bearish, and we have room for lower because we haven't taken out any lows coming into market open. And since we have room for lower with the bearish bias, if we hold below the drawn liquidity, if we have room for lower, we can potentially look for an inverse off of this bullish fair value gap inverse here, which is not a bad trade. Now, I do know that we have something on the 5-minute as well. Honestly, if we inverse this 5-minute gap, we're going to go ahead and approach straight away into the 15-minute. So I don't really feel like the 5-minute would be such a safe entry. But yeah, the 15-minute can actually definitely work. All right, guys. And once again, hold on, guys. Let me get some more water here. And once again, I would completely love to take longs up here. I just don't really see it being too worth it, especially with this drawn liquidity being literally right around at the entry. Just makes it too risky. Once again, my guys, my bad. It's just my throat was a little bit dried up. Anyways, guys, for my YouTube people, wait, let me see if I have okay, yeah. So what's up, people? For my people on YouTube. Now, one thing I will tell for the people on YouTube is, guys, yesterday in the AM session stream that I did, you guys know on YouTube I only stream in the AM session, and then if I ever find any trades during the PM session, I'll only put it out in the premium. For my people on YouTube, we ended up catching 2 trades yesterday. One of them being kind of mid, nothing crazy, which was NQ shorts. I don't know if you guys remember this yesterday, but I told you guys that obviously with the market pumping up over 300 points, I'm not going to look for longs, especially with us taking out every single level of liquidity nearby. All right, so obviously I wasn't going to take longs. So I waited pretty much all morning long to wait for the market to start dying down to look for shorts. So our first trade, we ended up catching NQ shorts. This alert came out a little bit late, so not everyone could have really caught it. But shortly after, I did tell everyone in the premium that I was going to start doing live trading for the PM session, in which we did with these NQ shorts here, which is our second trade of the day. Remember, this one did end up hitting our price target, so I ended up taking profits on this one. I made about $300 something off this trade. And then with this trade here, we ended up catching NQ shorts yet again off another drawn liquidity sweep with a lot of selling pressure into another inverse into lower. This setup looked pretty good. There's a lot more confirmations behind it, but I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you guys and bore you guys. But we ended up catching this trade, which ended up playing out for about 60 points into another one of our price targets here. So yesterday, I ended up making about $800 per account on the day, which is pretty neat because the day before, I think I made like 1,000 something, right? Where's that? Yeah, so on Monday I made $1,059 per account, and then yesterday I made $797 per account with these 2 trades that we caught. So I know I couldn't really stream my trades over on YouTube because obviously I only stream on YouTube during the AM session, which hasn't really been very active lately. So if you guys are a little bit bored on my YouTube stream, guys, join the premium. All right, guys, that's where I'm putting out all of my daily trades, especially during the PM session, which is where we've been catching our good trades. So yeah, yesterday, very, very green day. We went 2 for 2 on our trades, and then I ended up making pretty much $800 per account. All right, once again, I really wish I could have recorded it for you guys on YouTube so you guys also caught the trade, but unfortunately, I don't go live during the PM session on YouTube, only during the AM session. All right, so hopefully today we can catch something during the AM session, so we not only have a very early day, but so you guys can catch something as well. All right, guys. But yeah, anyways, so once again, looking at market open, we're only 10 minutes into market open, so nothing crazy. But we're kind of still holding inside of this 5 and 15-minute bearish value gap. So once again, I don't know if we're going to reject or not. It's kind of hard to tell because once again, we have a level of liquidity up here in which we haven't taken out, and we also took out this level of liquidity in which we're holding above. So technically, our bias is bullish. The thing is, I just don't really have too much to really take into longs. Once again, yes, you can look to take this inverse here. It doesn't look horrible. The thing is you just have this level of liquidity in the middle of the way. So it's like, do you really want to take it? Do you really want to risk getting swept out? It's really up to you guys. I mean, this setup once again looks very good. We have a lot of buying pressure. It looks pretty stable, kind of. It looks all right. Remember guys, we had CPI today, so we have a pretty good amount of volume coming in. So the volume today, at least for now, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical with this trade over here on this 5 and 15 minute bearish rally gap because yeah, once again, we have the buying pressure needed. It's just what if we get bought up into 25, 125, and then we sweep shortly after back to the downside into a bearish bias, right? You obviously don't want to be stuck in longs up here, right? Which is very close to the entry, about 15 points away, right? So, you're not really giving the market enough time to really decide if it wants to sweep or if it wants to continue maybe going lower. All right. So for me, I personally want to wait. Maybe we wait and see for a 125 sweep. I mean, we're right there. We might as well take it out. It's only 25 points away. Or if we don't want to take it out and we go back down, we can also work with the D-roll sweep off of 25.58, which is also not a bad trade. The only problem that worries me is, okay, let's say, for example, we end up going higher, right? Let's say, for example, we take out the strong liquidity, we hold above it, and this inverse ends up playing out, even though I'm not willing to enter, which is totally fine. What other trade can I get to the next liquidity to the upside at 217? Because from here, look at this, guys. Actually, no, we have some more liquidity here. Let me mark this out just in case. So yeah, from here to our next level of liquidity, we have about, we have about 60 points to play with to the upside until we take out the next level of liquidity, and which can result in another potential sweep into a reversal. So it's like I want to trade this inverse really bad. I mean, I'll leave it. I'll consider it, right? Depending on the reaction, of course. I'm not saying I'm gonna take it. I'm just, maybe if we have a ton of buying pressure to the point where we don't even end up projecting at all, maybe we can take something here. Because the only thing is I just don't want it to be like a day like yesterday where the market pumped up over 300 points. We didn't get a single entry at all, and we missed the whole upside. We were still green yesterday, so it doesn't really matter. But I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Like I don't really like missing out on these entire pushes without getting a single setup. I mean, so the problem is that if we don't get an entry here, we are not going to get an entry at all. And you might be wondering, okay, well, why don't we just enter off this one? It's the same case. We have another level of liquidity right at the entry of the fair value gap. In fact, this one looks worse, right? Because this one, at least, is manageable, right? Because, maybe, we go a little bit above, we reject, and we go back up into an entry. That can work. But this one, it's right at the entry. This one's kind of in the midpoint on the 5 minute, on the 15 minute. But I mean, if we're going to enter off an inverse here, we're going to enter off the 5 minute regardless, because the 5 minute is a little bit larger in size compared to the 15 minute. But yeah. So right now we're actually rejecting a little bit, which is pretty nice, because once again, I kind of do feel a little bit safer with that, some downside. First of all, we already took out some liquidity to the upside already. So, if we want to reverse, we have a reason to. We haven't taken anything out to the downside. And if we do end up going down with a lot of selling pressure, we can go ahead and look for an inverse off this fair value gap, which has no liquidity anywhere. So we don't have to worry about a random DOL sweep in the gap. So what we could do is just simply take this gap here, maybe target this low here, which is actually a pretty good price target for about 40 points. Yeah, about 40 points depending on the entry. And then, we hit this target, and then we target the lows once again, which, by the way, we have a triple bottom here, which makes this level extremely strong. The thing is can we even get selling pressure today? Or at least this morning, right? Because we have a little bit of selling pressure here, but is it going to hold? We don't know. All right, because we still have to go down quite a bit here to get the shorts. So, let me see. We have to dump down about 85 points, which honestly, we do have volume, so it shouldn't be too much of a big deal. Maybe like 2 pretty good selling candles. But hey, that's really for time to tell. You know what I mean? Anyways, in the meantime, let me actually go ahead and fix my ES chart here a little bit, because I did not chart it overnight. So let me kind of fix this up a little bit here, because we are rejecting here on ES. Pretty not. Wait a minute. Oh, we have a pretty fat SMT here then. Okay. I'm sure you guys can see the difference here. Obviously, NQ is holding midway through the 15-minute candle, while ES is holding very red on the 15-minute candle. It's a very big sign of an SMT there. So I don't know if that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Hopefully not into, later in the day, But we'll see. Mark on this level of liquidity instead. But yeah, now ES, no, to be honest, ES hasn't really swept any levels of liquidity. Remember, guys, ES seems to be the weaker one today. So obviously, since ES wants to go lower while NQ wants to go higher, obviously, NQ took out a level of liquidity while ES has not taken out the level of liquidity, which is the CPI high over here at 804. We're currently trading at 794. So ES technically does not have a bias coming to market open, although it is weaker. It has no bias, while NQ technically has a bullish bias currently. All right. But yeah. Now, I don't want to be too fast to say anything yet coming to market open, but I don't really, I don't know. This open, it looks good, it looks clean, but you guys know recently these opens, they look good for a second and then they chop up. So I don't want to be quick to say anything. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that it looks good. I don't want to say it looks choppy. You know what I mean? I definitely want to give it a few more minutes to see if the market wants to maybe reject or do something, and then we go from there. Like I said, I really do want to look into shorts if we do end up getting the selling pressure, especially into this 50-minute gap here. It would be a pretty nice trade, especially if the market can trend to the downside, especially looking at the 5-minute time frame here. If we can flip the candle from green to red. There you go. All right, so if we can start holding below 25.58, we can probably look for some shorts below 25,000 exactly. The thing is we just need that selling momentum to kick in. Right now, we don't have any momentum anywhere. Yeah, we had some buying momentum, nothing crazy, no trades anywhere, to be honest. But if you do want to get shorts, we need the same exact way that we pumped up here, we needed to dump down exactly the same. So we have a very clean, very, non-hesitant trade that we can catch, right? Because right now, it's kind of like we're just sitting there, We're getting a little bit of buying pressure, a little bit of selling pressure, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, nothing crazy, which has been the new normal recently. So yeah. Now, ES on the other hand, it's not really doing too much, even while NQ is dumping here, or it's trying to dump. ES is not really doing much, so we definitely know what not to trade today, at least for now, because ES hasn't taken out any levels of liquidity. It looks weaker, and it's not really doing much. I mean, not that NQ is doing much either, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, there is a slight chance where the market can bounce here because remember, guys, we are inside of a 5-minute bullish fair value gap, which I'm not interested in because obviously we have a 15-minute gap above, which can cause some issues. So who knows? Maybe we hit the midpoint and we bounce back up. Who knows? All right. Right now, pretty much what I'm trying to see is I'm not looking for an entry anywhere yet. But I'm mainly looking to see how the market wants to react off the CPI high drawn liquidity. And depending on how we react from it, it could tell us the bias, and the bias will go ahead and tell us what we want to do for maybe the rest of the morning. All right. So for now, we're trying to hold below it, which is confirming a bullish to bearish bias. Especially the indicators also finding in here. Obviously, you guys see the indicator price support approaching a short entry, which is pretty much going to be this one. Or actually, no, it's going to be this one because the indicator is reading the 5-minute. But I'm personally reading the 15-minute instead. So yeah, if we can hold below this with all the selling pressure, which looks very, very nice, I would be pretty open to taking some NQ shorts. Like I said, guys, I actually do like it. I just want to make sure the momentum looks very, very good. Yeah, let's see what we can cook up here as we do continue to sell off. Hopefully, we continue to sell off. Obviously, ES is already inversing the 15-minute gap. Remember, guys, ES does not have a dual sweep, so don't let ES fool you, right? It does not have a bias, right? Yes, ES is a little bit weaker, but not very promising. All right, we should be trading in Q, which has its dual sweep, its reasons to go down, and all that good stuff. All right, guys. There you go. But yeah, we are getting some selling pressure here. So we are approaching this 15-minute gap. We're about to hit the top of it. Remember, guys, we're looking for an inverse off of this fair value gap. I don't really want to take longs off this gap, even if we do bounce, because I don't know. I feel like this gap up here could be a little bit of an issue. Although, I don't know. I'll see. I'll see how we react off this gap. Because if anything, if we end up bouncing from this gap back into holding above 25.58, we could probably work with the bullish bias into the drawn liquidity above into the fair value gap, because we will have a pretty good entry into it. But remember, we haven't really approached it either way, so not really a big deal yet. But I don't know. I'll check it out. Because who knows, right? What if we end up hitting the fair value gap and bouncing back up above this level of liquidity, and we end up flipping our bias from bullish to bearish to back to bullish. But we'll see. Right now, the market is kind of just, I'm not going to say it's sitting there, but, buyers and sellers are definitely fighting for a position off of 25.58. So yeah, we're not selling too much, but we're also not getting bought up too much. We're kind of just, We're still deciding pretty much, right? But once again, we're maybe I just don't look for only an inverse off this gap. I would prefer an inverse, but if we do in the, for example, what I'm trying to say is, guys, is right now, yes, we're bearish. Why are we bearish? We're holding below 25.58 with a good amount of selling pressure. But what could happen is that if we don't end up inversing this fair value gap because buyers are trying to step in, just like how they are right now, what could happen is, what if we end up retracing into the gap, getting bought up? We identify the getting bought up here, right? We start holding above 25.58. We turn back into a bullish bias, and we technically have a bullish rally gap bounce with a bullish bias with room for higher, which wouldn't be too bad, honestly. So I'll be open to longs if, like, longs would be plan B, to be honest. Right now, obviously, the bias is bearish, so I'm obviously going to be looking for some shorts. But if we do end up bouncing from this gap and holding above this drawn liquidity here, which is the CPI high, longs wouldn't be also bad either. But yeah, now with this trade, guys, we're already approaching the midpoint here. So with this trade, guys, I am going to be looking for about a stop loss at the drawn liquidity sweep at 25.58. So obviously with this trade, I'm probably going to be sizing a little bit lighter, maybe like 5 contracts from my usual 7 to 10. Just because I want to make sure that I'm obviously putting my stop loss at, you know, let's just, for example, we enter shorts and we weren't right on our position. Well, actually, maybe not, because the risk reward will be pretty bad. If anything, I'll probably do like 45 points and then maybe just look for a re-entry if anything goes south. Because the thing is, our first price target is at the 5-minute low here, and it's 40 points. So I'd rather just use like a 40 to 45 point stop loss and just target that instead. It'll just be way easier to actually get scales. But yeah, now we are hitting the midpoint here. So like I said, for plan B, there's a slight chance where, yeah, we're getting selling pressure now, but what if we end up bouncing from the midpoint of this rally gap and going back above 25.58? If that's the case, then longs wouldn't also be so bad. Obviously, it's not going to be my main focus, but it's definitely something that we can definitely watch to see if we can get. So if anything, let me try to make a backup alert just in case we do end up getting longs. Just in case we do end up bouncing, because that's what kind of what we're doing right now. Like I said, guys, just because we're bearish doesn't mean that the market is going to go down straight away. Sometimes we're going to be bearish temporarily to hit a retracement and then go back up. I've been noticing that a lot more recently with our setups. So once again, if you do end up getting a bounce here, maybe longs wouldn't look horrible off that midpoint. But I'll be open to it. I'm gonna delete this just for now, just so I don't confuse anyone. But just in case we do end up getting longs here, I'm not gonna deny it. I'm definitely pretty open to it. Because look, this, you see what I mean? Like, look, we're literally getting it now. Oh, okay. Wait. NQ, hold up. Because with this very strong bounce here, we could probably look for some longs, but it's a little bit too late for our entry. Ooh. I also don't want to rush anything. I gotta be very careful with this. Bruh. Hold up, guys. I accidentally refreshed my trade bit. Hold up. There you go. Okay. Let me see. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna see if we can bounce off this gap here real quick. Because if we do that, I don't know. Like, I don't want to rush anything because the thing is we're right at the level of liquidity, so it's gonna be hard to tell if we want to bounce or reject or, you know, because the volume is so high up. Let me see. I'm really trying to decide what we can do here. Because once again, we're sitting at the level of liquidity, so it's hard to tell. So maybe if we get an entry, we'll have to be like a little bit higher up here. But if we do sell off, the entry will be at the inverse. My cat's on my keyboard. Cookie. Oh, bro, you knocked down my water bottle, bro. Bro, I need you off my table, like right now, bro. Come on. Okay. But yeah, there's gonna be a tricky trade. Hold on, guys, because I'm trying to lock in real quick. I'm trying to see what I can get here, like in terms of a reaction. I don't know if we're gonna sweep due to a bearish bias, or I don't know if we're gonna bounce here back into a bullish bias. So, and we have to react fast as well with this trade. So just be locked in, guys. Just pay attention to what I have to say, just in case you guys want to follow. And then we can just target these highs up here as well. For now, guys, I'm looking for longs just because we're getting that fair value gap bounce into a DOL sweep above a continuation model. But I'm not rushing any entries yet because we're still sitting at the level of liquidity, which is determining our bias. And the market right now on the 5-minute doesn't look super promising. So it's a little bit rough to know whether I want shorts or longs because both look super good with their given setup. It's just the volume. I need to make sure that I know which direction is stronger. Because right now, you know, for a second we're holding below it, then we're holding above it, then we're holding below it. So I'm still trying to determine what we can do here. It's like I want longs, but I also want shorts. So let me just have this here just in case. Just so like I'm fully prepared. Just in case we do sell off, like we can just move this here. Like this. Because it's hard because our entries, or at least for the longs, it's sitting right at the drawn liquidity. So 1 second we're bullish and then the next second we're bearish. So I'm just going to give the market a bit of time here to really see what it wants to do. Hopefully it doesn't chop here because, once again, chopping here will be a nightmare. But look at the 5-minute. This is what I mean. It's just 2 doji candles in a row. It's not a good sign. So I'm just being very patient to see what I want to get. I just want to make sure that I'm buying something into like that has its strength. You know, because I don't want to be entering longs here and then we hold below the drawn liquidity back into a bearish bias. Now, if we do end up getting shorts, it shouldn't be an issue because, you know, it's just simply just an inverse. With longs, we need a bounce and make sure that we have enough buying pressure to kind of understand that the market wants to go higher. And we can't really determine that because we have a doji and a doji, right? So not much is really happening. Yeah, I'm trying to see how we react off this area to know whether I want longs or shorts. Because remember, this setup can work out in either direction. It's just we need to choose the right momentum. We want to see the markets. And ES is also bouncing pretty nice here as well, but still not really enough to really tell us what we want to see. Maybe if we break past the previous candle high on the 5-minute, maybe we can look for longs. So maybe like above 76. Wouldn't be too bad for the longs. As long as we, it's hard to tell because as long as we hold above this, but the thing is our entry is going to be right at the level of liquidity. So we can enter now and get a little mini pullback and we're back bearish. And then we can obviously go into the inverse. So obviously I'm just waiting to make sure that we get enough buying pressure. But the thing is our entry is right there. So getting the buying pressure is going to be a literal pain. And, you know. It's too late. I missed the longs. Fuck. That was the problem with these longs. Like, we're right at the entry, but if we wait for buying pressure, we're gonna hit the price target. So I can't really enter longs here. The price target is right there. So even if I wanted to enter right now, it's gonna be like a 10-point price target. So just getting longs here is way too complicated. I mean, maybe we can retrace back down again and maybe still enter longs, but up here I can't do that. I need to get an entry below the 75s because if not, our price target will be just way too far off. Damn, these longs are tricky, bro. I can't get it. And I was literally hovering my mouse over the buy button, bro. I was about to click it, but nah, it's way too late on this one. I mean, like I said, we can still retrace back down and maybe still get another bounce. But either way, it's, I don't know. Yeah, we're about to hit the price target there. Oh. We're most likely gonna hit. I mean, we have the buying pressure. It's hard, man. I really want to get longs off this retracement here. I just can't get an entry up here. Nor do I know if I even want an entry here. And it's gonna be a whole nother mission to go all the way down again. Okay, yeah, there's a price target. Oh my god. No. Why do you do this to me, NQ, bro? Why? Why must you do this to me, bro? Let me see if we can work out something off the inverse. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit more patient and see if we can obviously hold above the drawn liquidity sweep. Ah, bro, why does NQ have to be such a pain in the ass sometimes, bro? Why, bro? Why? What is going on? Why are we pumping, bro? No. Bro, I missed 2 long entries, bro. Are we serious right now, bro? No, bro. It's the thing is getting longs here is so fucking hard because there's so many things that can stop us out. No, man, no. Why and Q? Why? Oh man. I mean, it's fine. It's you know we can always get another setup, but damn, bro, it's whatever, man. It's whatever. I mean, worst case, we are creating a 5-minute gap here. So if we do end up sweeping this, we can always go back down, which is not a big deal. Like I don't really mind. But damn, bro, that would have been a nice ass trade. I mean, if we go down before even hitting this price target, we can always look for like a nice entry model, off a pullback. But I don't know how promising that would be. Because if we're going down, we're probably going to be taking out this DOL here. Because now we're at the entry. But the thing is, I don't know. I don't trust it. I don't know if it's going to be a DOL sweep into a pullback. I don't know. That's the problem. I really don't. And the price looks very aggressive right now. So, I mean, what we could do. Hold on. I'm gonna scrap longs. I'm not gonna chase longs. I already know I don't like it. It's gonna be too much. I rather it's probably gonna be a day like yesterday where we need to wait for the market to do its whole pump thing, you know, do the volume thing, whatever, and then wait for the sellers to step in. Because once again, guys, I tried entering longs here. I wanted to enter longs here, but it was too close to the drawn liquidity, so I didn't know if it was gonna be an actual pullback or if it was gonna be a reversal. So I hesitated a little bit on this entry because once again it just wasn't fully confirmed. So I'm like, you know, if I enter now, it's probably not gonna be the best. But if I don't enter now, I'm probably gonna miss out on the entry. So I have to make a choice. But what can happen now is, okay, hold on. So since we're taking out this drawn liquidity and we're trying to reject back down, 2 things can happen. Because if sellers are stepping in right now, we can probably inverse. Maybe not. I was gonna say we can probably inverse this 5-minute if it closes in 1 minute, but we're not gonna, you know, we're probably not gonna hold this gap here. I mean, with all the selling pressure. So if anything, we can just worry back on this 15-minute gap here. We're gonna close this gap, right? I mean, no way we don't. It wouldn't make sense to not close this gap with the selling pressure, right? Right? Because what we could do is from this gap into our next level of liquidity is all the way down here for 62 points, which is a good risk reward. And if anything, if you want to be even more safe, you could target this rally for 40 points, 45 points. So shorts here wouldn't be a bad early entry, especially with all the volume kicking in. We could probably work with that. Just with an earlier entry. That's if we hold below this drawn liquidity here. Once again, guys, I apologize if I sound like I'm all over the place. Just the market is doing a lot of things, so I'm constantly flipping the buys according to the market. So just bear with me for a second. I'm trying to find something really good and high quality to take. I'm looking at this 5-minute. With the volume, we should have ourselves a pretty good quick trade. I just don't want to rush anything, especially with this volume that could be very dangerous. You know, obviously the market is pumping, dumping. Look at the 1 minute. Pumped up 87 points, then 50, then another 45. That's on the 1 minute, by the way. So obviously price right now, it's, you know, obviously looking at the 1 minute and looking at our stop loss, there's a possibility where we get stopped out very quick if we get an unwanted, unexpected pullback. So we got to be very careful with this volume. Obviously size very light, of course, you know, That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not risking shit in this market. No way. Also, even if we would have caught these longs, it would have been a huge mess, guys. If I'm being completely honest. Why do I say this? Well, you guys saw the market pump up. We would have entered off the inverse. With the pump up, we probably would have entered like maybe a little bit above, like up here. So we probably would have only seen like 30 points, 25 points on the trade, which obviously wasn't even enough for us to take it. So these longs, it might seem like we missed it, but to be honest, sometimes it's better to miss some setups, even if they work out. This just looks like a huge emotional roller coaster for this trade. Now I really don't know where all of this volume is really coming from. A piece of hair in my mouth. I don't know where this volume is coming from. But yeah, we started spiking literally randomly as we started looking for longs. So a little bit weird there. I don't really think Trump is speaking or anything. Let me double check the news. I really hope not, but let me double check. What's Bloomberg? What are we doing? We're still trying to sell off here. Let me see. Oh, yeah. IEA says it has proposed the largest release strategic oil. That's for oil. Officials prepare for at least 2 more weeks of strikes. Oh, that's why we're pumping or dumping. Okay, guys, let me tell you something. Okay, so for those wondering, why did we end up spiking up while we were trying to look for longs? Like instantly. It says here, we have a bunch of Trump things. Like a lot. Trump tells, I don't know that name, Axios, there's practically nothing left to target in Iran. Trump tells Axios Iran war will end soon. Anytime I want it to end, it will end. Damn, that's pretty. That's some aura. Okay, yeah. No, okay, let me focus back on the shorts, guys. But yeah, Trump apparently is speaking on Iran news. So guys, please, if we're gonna get a trade today, please, like seriously, size light, guys. Like, do not mess around with this volume. All right, guys. We have a whole bunch of Iran war stuff going on, so this trade can go very south very quick. It's a good setup. Just be careful, please. Size light, guys. I'm also gonna be sizing light. All right, if we get shorts, I just don't want you guys to be, you know. But yeah, as we keep selling off, hold on, let me keep reading this to you guys. So Trump says a war with Iran will end soon. Very nice. That's probably why we pumped up. Officials prepare for at least 2 more weeks of strikes. That's probably why we're dumping down. This just came in. So we pumped up because Trump is saying war will end soon. And then we're dumping down because officials say for at least 2 more weeks, they prepare for at least 2 more weeks of strikes. So that's why you guys are seeing the volume going crazy right now. Now, one thing I'll tell you guys is common sense. If you don't feel safe or comfortable trading this volume, you do not need to trade it. All right. Obviously, this can make these trades extremely, extremely risky. All right. But yeah, we're dumping right now. So let's see if we can catch some shorts here. Remember, guys, I am going to be sizing extremely light. Please, if you cannot afford to do this, do not be stupid. All right. It's going to be an extremely risky trade. All right. Extremely risky. All right. So please just, I'm trying to look out for you guys. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can catch some shorts here off this 5-minute inverse, guys. All right. I'm eyeing some shorts. But just size very light, like to the point where even if we do get stopped out due to a random candle because of war, you don't care about it, or you won't care about the loss. All right, guys, that's all I asked for. But let me see if I can catch some shorts here. Hover your mouse over the sell button. Just be ready, just in case we do end up getting some selling pressure, which we are getting, but not enough right now for me to really love it. But yeah, I'm just trying to see a hold below the inverse. If not, then I'm not gonna take it. All right, guys. But yeah, just hover over the sell button because that's what we're looking at. All right, guys. But yeah, the volume looks super crazy right now. So once again, I'm gonna say one more time, guys. If you do not feel comfortable trading this volume, don't trade it. All right, and if you are trading it, please size light to the point where if it gets stopped out, you do not care about that loss. All right, obviously it's very risky. We're currently trading war news. All right, a lot of war stuff is going on as we speak in the markets. All right, a lot of war stuff is going on. But yeah, once again, for those that don't know why we're pumping and dumping, the pump was caused due to Trump saying that war with Iran will end soon, and the dump is being caused because officials prepare for at least 2 more weeks of strikes. All right, so that's why we're pumping and then dumping as well. All right, and then chart-wise, technical-wise, obviously we're getting a DOL sweep with a lot of selling pressure. So that's what we're looking at for some shorts. All right, I'm just waiting for a very nice selling pressure to break past this candle low for us to go ahead and take shorts off this 5-minute fair value gap. All right, but yeah. Now, if anything, if this doesn't end up holding for the short, we can always just wait for this 15-minute to get inverse. It's not too far away either. Now, the only problem is we did create a level of liquidity in the gap, so it could be a little bit of a problem, as we go on into the PM session, if that's going to be the case. All right, guys. But yeah, we're waiting for selling pressure from a green to red candle into a candle break here to go ahead and enter shorts here and then place our stop loss up here. All right. But yeah, we're not in shorts yet. Remember, guys. I'll let you guys know when I'm in. But yeah, I'm just a little bit nervous because obviously we're going to be trading. Literally anything can happen as we speak, because obviously Trump and Iran are kind of going at it as we speak during market open. So, like I said, anything can happen. So please, I'm going to say it again. Size light if you're taking this. If you don't like this volume, do not take this trade. All right. If you're close to a payout, do not take this trade. All right, guys. Do not be stupid. All right. Do not be stupid. But yeah, I'm just waiting for a very strong green to red candle flip into a candle break through the inverse, which we're trying to get right now. So pay attention, guys. All right. And I'm probably going to scalp this trade. Sometimes if we don't even see the price target, I'll probably just take it. I don't even care. Okay, guys. I'm going to try short here. Remember, guys, it's risky. Please, if you cannot afford it, do not take it. All right, this is war that we're trading. All right, guys. This is war that we are trading. I'm going to place my stop loss at 25, 125. I am sizing extremely light. So if I get stopped out, I literally do not care. All right. So please keep that in mind. Please. But yeah, worst case, if these shorts don't end up holding up, we can always just wait for a little bit later in the day and wait for this 15-minute inverse, which was our initial play. All right. Yeah, let's see if we can dump this down here. I'm just praying that Trump doesn't say anything bullish in the next few minutes that we're in this trade. But yeah, once again, guys, if I get stopped on the trade, I literally don't care. I'm sizing to the point where I don't care, and I told you guys a million times. We're trading war. It's completely risky. Very, very risky. So please be careful. All right? Please, 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 please be careful. Now, I kind of feel like I should probably use like a higher stop loss, especially with my sizing. But honestly, I'm not even trying to like do too much with this trade. It's already risky enough, so why overdo it? I don't know. I kind of feel like I should probably raise my stop loss. Just because the volume is going to be so crazy. But I also don't want to overdo it. But the thing is, where would I put it? I don't want to do too much. I'll probably just leave it as is, honestly. If I have to look for re-entry, then I will. Once again, guys, this is a completely risky trade. All right, guys? So please understand that. Remember, guys, my stop loss is placed at 125. That's where my stop is placed at. That bottom still seems pretty active here. I really want to raise my stop loss, but I don't want to overdo this trade. Worst case, I can always look for a re-entry at the initial trade down here. I just really don't want to overdo it. But guys, remember, my stop is placed at 125, which is at the draw liquidity up here. And hopefully we don't chop in this area, especially with all this news going around. I really want to raise my stop loss, bro. Really, really want to raise it because I know this volume is going to be a pain in the ass, especially once the next set of news comes out. I already know it's going to be a pain. I'm going to refresh Twitter. Trump says, okay, yeah, we already saw it. Trump says there's nothing left to target in Iran. Ooh. See if we could dump this lower. At least into this fair value gap, if anything. I'll probably just target like 25, 35 to take most contracts out, just so I'm not really risking as much. I just hope we don't chop here, especially with all the news going on. I wouldn't really expect it. Bad, dude, this thing is volatile as hell, bro. Guys, this is so risky, bro. I'm dead ass a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie, with this trade, I'm very nervous because once again, literally anything can happen at any given second with Trump and Iran going at it, guys. So I don't know. I might just take profits early and just maybe get the hell out of this trade when I can. Because this is very risky, guys. Super risky. Definitely gonna be one of the riskiest trades that we take, all week long, for sure. I just hope we can see a little bit lower here because we did see lower here. We broke the candle low, but once again, it's like we're chopping here a little bit. So I'm a little bit worried with that stop loss. It's a little bit too tight with this volume. Once again, I don't want to risk much either way, which is why I'm sizing super light on this trade. So I'm not going to expand my stop loss either. But I really do want to give this trade a little bit more room for all the volume that we have here. What up, guys? Yeah, honestly, like I said, guys, I'm not gonna lie. If we can break past this previous candle low here, I might just get out of this trade. If we break below it, because honestly, this seems too risky. Even with the light size, it's way too risky with this trade. So I'll probably just get what I can get and just wait for like the markets to cool down. Maybe going into the 15-minute inverse below if we do end up selling off coming to the PM session. Because yeah, no, this trade is way too much right now, to be honest. I mean, shit, we're literally trading war news, so like I said, I'm just worried that anything could happen and it goes against us mid trade, even if the chart is going in our way. You know what I mean? I'm just a little bit worried with that, but I mean, worst case, if we get stopped out, it's gonna be a light loss, and I'll probably just wait for a better setup down here to form here, especially when the market cools down. Because yeah, dude, this volume, we're getting everything confirmed, and it's not holding because it's just chopping because of that war news. So I'm a little bit worried with that. I'm gonna keep checking the news real quick. They're still very volatile. I hear that's just barrel releases. Okay, so this is all just oil news. I bet oil is probably going crazy right now. I mean, NQ seems to be following along as well, so I can just imagine. But yeah, guys, right now for me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably not gonna hold for the price targets because once again, this is just too much to trade right now, like too much volume. So honestly, if we get a candle break, I'm probably just gonna get out and just wait for a better sub to form. That's probably the smartest thing I could do here. Because again, we're chopping with volume, so literally anything can happen at any given time. I don't really trust it all that much. Like I don't know. Even with light size, I'm a little bit nervous with this trade. I'm just waiting for this candle break here. Once I get that, I'm probably just gonna get out all the way. No point in me holding this. It's way too risky for me. I mean, if we could dump down even lower, then sure, like very fast. But this candle low here will probably just be my getting out point. I'll just wait for the market to cool down so I can find another setup. And I'm sure you guys agree with me. It was a good setup with a good read. Just bad timing with that war thing. And usually all that war stuff doesn't really happen until the market is closed or during the weekend. But it's happening during the market open, so it's kind of something. All right, guys, I'm getting out here, bro. Fuck that, bro. I'm not risking it, bro. I got out, guys. I'm not risking this trade, bro. It's way too risky, bro. I'd rather take my green while I have it than just hold this shit, bro. I apologize, guys. Once again, I never really get out of my trades at break even, and I usually always let them run. But bro, we can't really complain here, guys. I just I can't. I can't hold this. This is way too much, bro. Now, if you guys want to hold it for lower, like you don't care about your position, then sure, by all means, go ahead. But for me, I'd rather just wait for a cleaner setup. This setup, it looked clean, then war came out, and then I rather not. I'd rather just not risk it, guys. It's just way too much for me to kind of manage here. I mean, we hit the price target, so if you guys haven't gotten out, you should probably get the fuck out of this trade like right now. Now the problem is we're approaching this 15-minute gap here, so but we're still going at it with the whole war thing. So man, oh man, I'd rather just not, bro. I'd rather just skip on this and wait for the market to cool down. Once again, guys, I apologize for getting out of this trade early. I just don't trust it with war. Obviously, I mean, it's pretty much common sense. There you go. Let me put this out real quick, guys. 1 sec. Now, I'm going to open up the chat to see what you guys are saying. You guys are probably freaking out as well. Let me see. Let me see what you guys. You got out with $10, dude. I got out with $100. I mean, dude, I'll take it, bro. I will take it. Now, if you guys want to hold this trade, go ahead. Like I said, I personally just don't feel super safe trading this market. even with the light size, I just don't trust it, guys. So yeah, I never do this. I really do. I really don't. But obviously, I just war. Rather not. Now, guys, quick, real quick, type a quick one in the chat if you guys are. Yeah, we read it right. No, we're still green. No matter what where we sold, we're still green. I don't care. We're entering off the 15-minute gap, dude. I want to, bro, but we're currently in the middle of war, bro. Like, I'm looking at Twitter and I just keep refreshing and new war, new war, new war, new war with Iran and Trump, Iran and Trump. So even if you get such a good setup, anything can happen mid trade, which could stop you out. That's why I'm what's it called? That's why I'm very hesitant today. Obviously, I'm very nervous trading even a good chart because fucking Trump. I don't trust it. And I would love to enter these shorts here, man, off the 15-minute, but I can't, bro. Not right now. Signal botted that shit. This dude, bro. Like, it's like I tell you guys the size line. This dude's making $900 per account, bro. Like hello. But yeah, now guys in the chat, where did you guys sell at? Let me know your fills. I ended up selling at 53, so I got like 15, 20 points. But yeah, what price did you guys sell at? Because remember, you're still in. Nah, I mean right now you're good. I mean just move your stops to break even and you're chilling, bro. But dude, I couldn't, bro. I couldn't hold that shit, bro. My heart was dead. I was pumping like crazy. Bro, I'm not reading that, bro. Would never be me. You made $200. Not bad. Like I said, I'm willing to find another trade just when the market kind of settles down a little bit. You're still in. I had to check my email for my wife and boom, bro. Yo, thank your wife, bro. Oh my. Oh no. Bro, the FOMO's gonna kill me right now. But I'm seeing a lot of you guys are still in. In fact, there are more people in that than people that took full profits. You're holding on for dear life, dude. Go break even, bro. Guys, if you don't go break even, I'm not gonna say it. Guys, go break even, please. Like seriously, go break even. You would be dumb to not go break even here, all right, guys? And if you guys are still holding, obviously the price trackers are below. Once again, I already told you guys why I sold early. I love the setup. Just obviously, I don't really feel super comfortable alerting something to a few hundred people while war is happening, right? I mean, you can't really blame me. You can't really blame me. But regardless, everyone should be green, whether it's $10, $100, $1,000. Like a lot of you guys are green right now. Green is green, regardless. All right, and I'm already seeing a lot of you guys are still in. So at least you guys are making money. Don't worry about me. I'm already green as fuck for the week. All right, guys. Excuse the language. All right, Monday and Tuesday, which is Monday and yesterday, a bunch of profits made, so I don't care about today. But I really hope you guys are making some money, even if it was a quick scalp there, because obviously I'm sure we all shot ourselves midway through the trade. Yeah, remind me not to trade during war news again. I don't know why I did that in the first place, but yeah. One sec, guys. I'm just alerting this real quick for the people that are still in. But yeah, I hope you guys are green though. Like whether it's even a lot or a little bit, it doesn't matter. I hope you guys are green. With yesterday and today, we've been doing pretty good. Bro, Donnie, bro. Fuck this pullback, I'm out. David, I could kiss you. Bro. But no, seriously, how are you guys doing today? Let me know in the chat. Are you guys green? Are you guys red? Happy? You stay cash? I don't blame you. We're trading war, Now, once again, guys, You aligned the same idea? Nice, bro. This dude actually ended up holding all the way through. You passed through your accounts, 100 points, a little red. How the fuck are you red? Well, we did get a little bit of a pullback, but we never hit the stop loss. So, well, that was my stop loss. I don't know about you guys. Okay, why are you posting about 60 points and 100 points when you got out so long ago? Well, let's go ahead and read a little bit. I'm seeing lots of you guys are still in this trade. Consider scaling most contracts here for the people that are still in the trade. Remember, guys, my job is to trade with you guys and also guide you guys through the trades. If I don't guide you guys complain. If I guide you guys complain. You know what I mean? So, David, what is your advice for Asia? Avoid it. I don't trade Asia. I don't like Asia. Regardless, we complain. Regardless, bro. Regardless, it's whatever. Let me see. Asia and London is much better than this shit, to be honest. Yeah, bro, but it takes so much longer to get a trade. You think longs would be ideal? No, bro. Dude, do you not know where... Hello? Have you been living under a rock for the last 20 minutes, bro? We need the markets to cool down, bro. We need all of this war stuff to really die out so the volume goes back to normal. Dude, look at the volume, bro. You can't trade this shit. Why do you think I got out so early? Are you crazy? No. Look, I'm going to look for another trade later today. Like, I'm open to looking for another trade for today. But not right now, bro. Not right now. I mean, once again, why do you guys think I got out of the street so early? It doesn't make sense. It played out, which, it's nice, but not, not something really worth re-entering. So once again, guys, I am going to be looking for another trade later. Obviously, I did tell you guys yesterday that if I do find another trade, I will be going live in the premium, not on YouTube, my YouTube people. In the premium, if I find another trade, I'll put it out there. But for now, once again, guys, if you're green, take it and run far, very far. Don't even look back. Run far. Run far, 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 far. All right, guys. Thanks for the guidance, though, David. Obviously, I need to replicate what you do because how I manage my trading strategy isn't working. Yeah, that's fine, bro. I'm always here, bro. I'm always here. But yeah. What else do I have to say? That's pretty much it, to be honest. Now, once again, I'm probably gonna get off the stream soon because I'm not trying to trade this price action. Although it looks amazing, I would love to trade this. I physically can't. Because once again, look, my only fear with this market is we find a beautiful setup, we take it, and then Trump out of nowhere is like, okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and strike Iran. Boom, the market dumps. We get stopped out randomly, right? I'm not trying to have that happen. I need the market to be, smooth waters, right? Just price action, no news, no Trump, no war, no Iran, none of that. We need smooth price action. All right. So for this, yeah, we'll take the win, right? Whether it's $100, $1,000, whatever you made, we'll take the win and we'll come back later. Because yeah, this market, not it for me. All right. You locked yourself out. Not bad, bro. Not bad. I mean, shit, bro. You made a shit ton of profits, bro. Why not? Hey, David, when you have a chance, can you check what messages? Yeah, I got you, bro. But it's gonna have to be a little bit later, bro. I don't really check that too often. I'm not gonna lie at all. I don't really check that really at all. But yeah, thanks, David. The trade was really good. The setup was good. The conditions weren't. That's why I sold early. but yeah, other than that, guys, I'm gonna get off for a little bit. I'm gonna close the charts, come back during the PM session. Hopefully things are smoother by then. And once again, if I do see a setup, guys, I will get back on stream with you guys and I will take it just like yesterday. All right, guys. But yeah, other than that, guys, I'll see you guys later. All right, guys. Remember, I'll be active in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, ask ahead. All right. Peace out, guys. Peace. I'll see you guys later. Remember, I'll be active in the chat. If you guys have any questions or whatever, let me know. If anything, I'll share my setup that I'm watching in there before I get on stream. All right, guys. Peace out, guys. Peace. And YouTube, guys, hopefully you guys caught more of this trade than I did. Once again, I sold a little bit early today. I mean, I don't really blame myself. I don't really care about the profits too much. Remember, I'm very green on the week already, so I don't really mind. But hopefully you guys caught more of this trade than I did. In fact, I really hope that you guys are probably still in because we are actually dumping. All right, guys. But obviously, I don't want to be on stream for too long. So once again, I really hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I really hope you guys made some money. I know we all shot ourselves today, obviously with this little pump up here. But hey, that's what we get for trading news. You know what I mean? In the middle of news. Thankfully, though, it ended up playing out. It never hit our stop loss, and the market dumped into 2 of our price targets so far. So if you're still in, feel free to consider taking some scales here and all that good stuff. All right, guys. But yeah, other than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off. Continue managing this trade. Continue watching this trade. And I hope you guys make some money. All right, guys. Remember, I will be going live later today in the premium. So if you guys do want to join the winning side, click that link in the description. Join the premium, and I'll see you guys there. All right, guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the what's it called in the live training. All right, guys. But yeah, other than that, guys, I'll see you guys then.